3 a.m. in the morning, and I am working on my book. As you can hear, my voice is groggy. I'm working on a case study about Argentina's debt crisis, and then I want to look at Japan's last decade. The book is coming along, right? But then my mind kind of wandered, my mind kind of wandered off, and I was thinking about like relationships, and this is just one of those, I suppose, early morning musings, if you will. So one of my random thoughts or morning thoughts or whatever you want to call it, right? But I'm just thinking because you listen a lot to, I don't know, psychologists talk about trauma, and I suppose how people should respond. And I was just thinking about human nature. And the thought goes like this: it's like if you touch fire and the fire burns you, right? Your body has now learned a trauma response that when I touch fire, it burns. So guess what is going to happen? You are never going to touch fire again. So even if the situation arises where you are now immune to fire, you won't know because you touched fire maybe once or twice, and each of those instances you were burned, and your body remembers the pain, the body remembers that experience, and so it develops a defense mechanism against fire. So you know, when I see a flame or when I see flames, I am going to stay away from it because I remember how it feels when I touched the flames, or how it felt. I'm mixing up my tenses there. When I touched the flames, right? So even if you are now immune to flames or flames no longer burn, that is not something that you will ever find out. It would have to probably take a situation where a person or several persons no touch flames or walk into fire and say it's not going to burn you, and even then it's going to be with much trepidation that you're going to approach those flames to touch them, because you are going to remember and relive those experiences or those instances where you touched flames and you were burned. And it got me to thinking that healing, because people say, oh, well, we're talking about relationships, right? And if you have these recurring experiences, I know for the spiritualists among us, they'll say that if you keep having the same experience, it simply means that there is a lesson that you need to learn from those experiences that you're not learning. And it's, in my viewpoint, sometimes when I think, like, I always have this expansive view of things, or I try to. It's like if I'm not learning the lesson, then maybe the lesson is not, because it's like when I lectured accounting, financial management. Don't ask me why I was lecturing financial management, because that is not an easy course. I lectured economics, and I did menu planning. Why was I lecturing menu planning? Don't ask. And I lectured costing. Costing is not easy, right? And as a lecturer, my job is to create an environment in which the people under my charge, because these are not students, because they're all adults. Most of them were older than I was, right? The people in my classroom, I have to create an environment that helps them to learn. That's my job. So it simply means that I must now look at the lesson, understand the lesson, look at the people who I am supposed to impart this lesson to, and try to figure out how best do they learn, or how best can I impart this knowledge to them in a way that they will get it, or at least most of them, because not everyone is going to understand, and that is okay. But insofar as majority of the persons in that room understands what is being taught, then you would have done your job. And so if I'm teaching it one way and they're not getting it, I will have to pivot and figure out another way. So if it's that I need to do a role play situation, is it that I need to present them with a scenario, is it that I need to look at a case study, is it that we need to watch a movie, whatever it is that you need to do, it is your responsibility to ensure that learning takes place. Right? So I'm looking at, when people say, well, you're getting in this, it's kind of like, but you keep putting me in the same situation, doing the same thing over and over again that has failed doesn't make any fucking sense. But that aside, right? When you get hurt by people, your body develops a trauma response. And I don't know if I am wrong. So I don't know, maybe somebody who is more on the spiritual side. I'm not talking about religious people because there's the difference between religion and spirituality. Can maybe help me work through this. But healing does not erase the trauma. It does not erase the past. It does not cause you now to forget the experience that you have had. And I do not believe that healing erases the now default trauma response that your body has developed to the incident that happened before, to the hurt that you experienced. So even though, let's say somebody broke your heart and you were devastated, you were depressed, whatever the case might be, and you pick yourself up, you got your shit together, you forgave them, you forgave yourself, and now you're right as rain. In my humble opinion, I believe that if you know are venturing back into the dating space and you encounter someone who then begins to display the same attitudes as the person or persons who hurt you before, your body involuntarily is going to activate that trauma response that it learned from the previous experience. And so your response is not because you have not healed from the trauma. I could be wrong here, so I'm just working through this in my head. Like I said, I'm having this thought. It's not that you have not healed from the trauma, is that your body, because it is designed to preserve your life, to protect you, and your body does not know the difference between actual, real physical danger and emotional harm. Hurt is hurt to the body. It's the same impulse, it's the same signal that is being transmitted. So it responds to protect itself. And so you have this default response where you recoil or pull away from the person. And so that is why sometimes people will say, oh, you haven't healed. But it's kind of like, you're on the same bullshit that my ex was on. I'm not finna do this. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, this is just it's like, since the default, because your body is going to develop a defense mechanism against any kind of hurt that you are, any kind of pain that you have experienced before. You know what I mean? If you walked through a certain place and something happened to you, guess what? Every time you're walking through that same place, you're going to be on high alert. Even if it never happens again, your body is going to remember that, hey, I was attacked here. And you're going to be on high alert, looking every which way. All your senses are going to be hyperactive in that moment. So I don't know. This is something that, like I said, I'm up, and it just I'm here working on the book, and my mind just wanders into like, okay, healing doesn't get rid of the trauma response that you had to past hurt. It doesn't cause you to forget what happened, and your body would have already developed this defense mechanism that will activate anytime it senses the same kind of danger.